Hello, good morning. Oh, she's gone now. That's all right. We'll have her back.
There
There
she
she
is.
is. She's back with us. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chronically Illing Out. I'm Nick Perro. This is Sick of This Shit Publications. I am joined by my really good friends and mental health partners and group chat extraordinaires of Steph Wilson from Freedom Over Fascism. Good morning, Steph.
Good morning.
We have Soso from Soso's World. Good morning, Soso.
Good
Beth,
morning.
Beth Cruz from the Possibilitarians Like. Good morning, Beth.
Good morning.
And we're joined by a special guest today from the Empowered Leader, correct?
Yes.
Margaret Williams. She is part of the community and she does her own better humaning practices and teaches better humaning all around. That's a phrase we use because Steph uses better humaning and I love it. I really do. Like, people think, if anyone thinks I'm unauthentic about like who I am during this chat, you can like fuck right off because I love this stuff and it makes me happy. Um, so
Not
better
bad.
better humaning is awesome. And Margaret, you have reached out to me before, and you and I have had some DMs before, and I want to let you
Right.
introduce yourself. However, before you introduce yourself, I just want to say Margaret is someone who has so much integrity and authenticity to her. She reached out to me, and I had put a video link into her subscriber chat that didn't follow the community norms of Margaret's chat, and she removed it and reached out to me. And I was like, yep, cool. I won't ever do that shit again because that was the wrong chat group. And I've never done it again on purpose. I always look at your chat and I'm like, not going to Margaret's for this unless it's like chronically illing out. Then I'll send a link there because that fits your community because that's what we do. So, Margaret, thank you for calling me out. I appreciate it because I need to learn too. And I am much more specific now and targeted on who I like broadcast certain things to because some people don't want it in their space and I want to keep people's spaces safe. So, Margaret, welcome. Thank you for coming into our area and our space. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Do you mind introducing yourself and who you are, what you do? At the end, we'll have your QR code like we always do for folks so people can come subscribe to you. But who are you, Margaret? For everyone in the audience, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Margaret Williams. I am the publisher of the Empowered Leader publication. Okay, and I retired from the Army Corps of Engineers in September 30th with 39 years of service.
Thank you for
Wow.
your service.
And thank you so much. And I'm a certified executive leadership coach and systemic team coach. And
Oh, Margaret, we need to talk. We must talk
Mhm.
outside of this
sure,
about that
sure,
stuff.
sure, I'd be honored. And so I came to Substack to, uh, to be able to help other people. Okay, working in a non-traditional field and working with the military, um, a lot of marginalized professionals have issues with trying to break through the glass ceiling. As we know, a lot of these organizations now are very toxic. They're removing all of the protections for workers. And
Mhm.
so they're just waiting for you to make a mistake or whatever they can use as a mistake to get rid of your job. And it's very sad because 637,000 Black women have lost their job because of the decisions that are made in DC as part of Project 2025. And I doubt that things will get better. They're going to get worse before they get better, unfortunately. So we're here to help those people to try to figure out when you lose your job, how can we pick up the pieces of our shattered lives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Clarifying question, Margaret, for you. First, thank you again for your service. I want to make a clarifying question for everyone in the audience because I believe I know the difference, but I want to make sure that I do before I make an assumption and before I say something stupid. When you say you were in the Army Corps of Engineers, were you in the military as a service member or were you on the civilian side?
I was on the civilian side.
Okay. Thank you for your service on top
Thank
of
you.
what I already said, because working with us assholes from the military, we kind of suck sometimes. Like, fuck, we have some problems, and some of us don't want to admit that shit. Like, the best of us do admit it, but the worst of us, like, just turn it into fragile masculinity and whatever this toxic bullshit is that we see nowadays that's not intelligent masculinity. So can you tell me about some of your experience? Can you tell us all about some of your experiences with service members and better humaning
Sure.
for them and how that could apply right now for us with our service members if we have any in our families?
Sure. The thing is that we have to nurture and cultivate these relationships, okay? Because when they look at me, it depends on where they come from, okay? Uh, it's a matter of meeting people where they are, first of all, and then finding out the commonalities that you have with people. Maybe they like football. Maybe you grew up in the same area or something. So when you find the common thread, then you start there. And when you have to work with people and you have to get a job done, you have to put egos aside. You have no choice because the mission comes first, not ego, not what you want or desire. Okay. When you look at it from that frame of mind, you tell the person, hey, we have a mission here. We're either going to do this the easy way or we're going to do this the hard way. You decide. Okay. So you have to break things down sometimes to people for them to understand the severity of what we're doing and to get themselves together real quick. Because we know you got a weak link we can all go out, you know what I'm saying? So we all have to have ourselves together and be prepared for the mission ahead of us.
Yeah, I think that's really good. For an internal note, can we? There's feedback from someone. If everyone has headphones, can we grab those? There's a little bit of feedback on one of our sides. My quick question. Sorry to derail the conversation right there. Is I think I want to ask everyone, right, because we're going to talk about mental health during all of this and how
buddy.
or how it. Hey, Beth, what is that mug you have? We're going to have to get that on a black background.
Yep.
Yes.
That says chronically illing out, though.
And it's 24/7 established 24/7. Oh, hello. See, this thing doesn't know what to do. It has its own mind. But yes, it's on a black background.
So I mean, great mug. I wasn't expecting to see it today, but thank you, Beth. That is not available for anyone else yet. We're working on tests.
What?
We're getting there. We're getting so close. We're getting so close for anyone who wants any of the chronically illing out stuff, because then we can also start working on some of the long-term goals that I have for this space, which are to hopefully start a foundation that helps support chronic illness and maybe does research into fibromyalgia, because it fucking sucks. And we could all fund that together. And instead of the bullshit that we're not getting, we could do it for each other. So I'm also going to start doing, Margaret, do you know about emotional distress tolerance before I get into it.
Mm.
And like
No, but
mindfulness and
no, but
okay,
no,
so
but please.
it's a mindfulness therapy that helps you like de-escalate and assess your emotions and take a step back in a quick, almost like there's a stop technique that literally means like stop, don't do this for a second, stop, think, observe, and forget what the P means. I believe there. I have manuals. I'm going to start reading through all of them. Does this fit in with your better humaning? This type of mindset of like going, it's the big thing is the mindfulness is emotion mind and rational mind, or intelligent mind. And then somewhere in the middle is this variable spectrum of a wise mind, depending on the situation you're in. So being either emotionless or too emotional, finding a balance between that for the situation so that you can have logic and emotion and keep yourself in a wise state of mind. Does that fit in with your better humaning and how you would approach family members and situations? Because really what I want to do is talk about like how does this help us on a chronic illness front and confronting those in our lives, because we have to practice what we preach in real life too, to
Yes.
better human not just ourselves but our family.
Better human is basically about mind, body, and spirit. Okay, because the body composes all of these things. Okay, and the better that we can do this, we show up as our best self. Okay, and we're able to get to higher levels of consciousness, and we're able to help more people. So that's where
Mhm.
we need to start with the self and see what all these holistic things that we can do to uh, rejuvenate the body, and rewire the mind,
Mhm.
and quiet the mind, and so we can function as we need to, because we are being pulled in so many different directions daily and have to make so many decisions. So we have to take pause every day to give our mind and body and spirit time to rest.
Mhm. I agree. Um,
I'm muted. But Beth, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, yeah. I'm really realizing that I need to do more of that to take a moment, and even though I'm doing all of this, and it brings me happiness, and I love being here, but I realized I need to also breathe and back off a little bit of the political stuff, just a bit, because this last week just destroyed me, and of course probably most of America. So it's
Yeah,
been very hard, and so
Yeah.
trying to in this crazy world trying to piece. I want to put all my energy here, but yet, holy shit, it's hard to eat that every single day and be okay. So I'm so glad to be here
I think
with
all of
everybody.
us, I see in the chat, like, I think that is a real problem for those of us who have either limited physical energy or limited
Mhm.
emotional capacity for, or extra sensitivity to other people's pain. And all of the, all of those
Yeah.
things combined. So like, I think unplugging and watching or reading or whatever, something that's not political at all, or that
Mhm.
is somehow affirming, is really amazing.
Yeah.
And
Celebrating the little things,
Mhm.
celebrating the little things, finding joy. Um,
giving ourselves credit where it's due, and when you feel joy doing something, continue doing that thing. Ben and Jerry's said it best. Um, Let me get their slogan up. I grew up with Ben and Jerry's. Just a side little story about Nick, real quick, because I like monologuing sometimes. And then I really want Margaret you to share more about this. You look so excited. I'm so glad you're with us. is I grew up really close to Ben and Jerry's, so Ben and Jerry's holds a special place in my heart. And hold on, I want to pull up the thing. They have their peace, love, and ice cream, but if it's not fun, why do it? Was their motto for a long time, and is their motto. And I grew up really close to Ben and Jerry's, so I hold that special place. They're from Vermont. If you work there, you got factory seconds, so it was either too much or too little of the stuff in the ice cream. So the too much ones were fun because you'd get like a solid core of like caramel in the middle of one of them or some shit. It was so good. And we would have just freezers full of ice cream for free factory seconds from our friends who worked at the store. Sorry. Good aside, go eat some ice cream. It's good for you.
Oh my God. It's like dopamine central, man.
Go get some Ben and Jerry's. I know it's expensive, but go get some ice cream. Like if you're in Vermont
or you're
or
local,
near Vermont, go to Vermont and go get some creamies, which are soft serve ice cream, because they're better in Vermont than anywhere else. And I can say that because I've had soft serve ice cream throughout the country. Creamies in Vermont are the best because there's something in the water. They use maple for almost anything and everything. And you'll get some amazing things like lavender maple creamy, and it's so fucking good. So good.
It sounds pretty good.
I'm thinking about tapping my maple tree this year.
You should. Absolutely.
Coming up, right?
It's easy. Yeah, it's coming up. So maple season is early spring, late winter, when it's below freezing at night and above freezing during the day, so that your sugar maple's sap can freeze at night. That way it rises, it goes up into the tree, and then it freezes, and then during the day it melts and comes down and goes into your tap spout and into your bucket. And it's very easy.
The more you know.
And if you're in a place where it's snowy, get those little get a reusable container so that it's not a one-time use thing, so that you're not making trash. Get a reusable container, put some snow in it, and after you boil your sap and turn it into syrup, while it's still hot, pour it over the snow and it'll turn into caramel. And it's called sugar on snow. We used to get it growing up. I grew up 5 minutes from a maple syrup farm. And so we used to go on field trips there, and we would see them make maple syrup. And we would get sugar on snow in those little hot dog containers. So celebrate the little things. Have fun. Go buy Vermont maple syrup because it's better than Canadian maple syrup. I'm going to fight you on this one, so.
No.
Vermont maple syrup. We literally bullied your entire country to go to our standard. We bullied every other country. A state bullied the country of Canada to go, now we're going to use our standard, or we're not part of the Maple Alliance, and you can't use our stuff. So,
well, soon you might be using our stuff because it's probably going to be yours if we become the 51st states, right?
Well, Vermont can become a province of Canada instead. Like everybody thinks it's part of Canada anyway, so they may as well just pop themselves up there. They'll get free healthcare out of it. They'll get healthcare that works out of it.
Yeah,
You sure?
kidding.
Okay.
Am I mans?
Canada, they buy nothing from us.
Jessica, I am, but it's also a Vermont tradition. I have family in Quebec, so I like fighting Canada because I'm basically a emotional support Canadian too, because I have Canadian family. So rely on
I don't
me,
know.
friend.
The land is pretty nice, Nick. I mean, I might want to take it. You know?
I mean, if there's a winery down the street
Canada.
or something from you and you sort of just want to annex it, go ahead. It's lawful now. Apparently that's what we do. So
I have a question for Margaret.
Moose and beavers.
Go ahead, so.
I have a question for Margaret. Being kind of, because I believe, is it okay if I tell where you are, or, I mean, geographically? I believe you're close to Canada.
Yes, I'm close to Canada and close to Russia.
Yeah, but
Ah,
I wanted to ask, like, do you have an emotional support Canadian nearby?
I'm not sure, but I got a support dog here.
can you see
It's
Russia
because
from your house?
What'd you say?
I said, can you see Russia from your house?
No, but when I used to work at the base, I could see Russia from the base. And that's why here in Anchorage, Alaska, they have they have all the services here because it's strategically located. So if they have to shoot over there to Russia, they can. Okay. So
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy in what's in Alaska and why it's
of
there and what
course,
it's
of
a
course.
it's a very meaningful spot for the military. It's also a very meaningful spot for the US. It's being that isolated. Um, how does that make you? How does that? So you're inside the. So this is a weird question because you're inside the US, but you're also in a place that is on the radar for Putin. And I don't want to get political, but I want to ask on a mental health side. You're on the radar. You're also right next to Canada, and you're slightly isolated from the U.S. So a lot of the stuff that's happening on like border patrol side is that as much of an issue in Alaska? And if it is how is that impacting like mental health? Is there like the same presence of fear that there's starting to be and boiling over in other places in the US for you?
Well, we call lower 48s, okay? Because we're disconnected from the United States. The only way you can get to Alaska is through Canada or on a plane.
Hmm.
Canada and a plane. Yeah, so since it's isolated here, you know that Alaska is a red state, and I'm very cognizant of that. And so I stay to myself. I mean, I have, my neighbors are very nice. Some of them, most of them are, but there are problems here, and just like with any place else, also the way you carry yourself. For example, the SNAP program affected a lot of people here. Okay, you have a large population of homeless people, and when you have temperatures like
Oh,
16 below,
yeah.
how do these people stay alive? You know what I'm saying? Because the government is continuing to make cuts, and these are the people that suffer. And a lot of these individuals are veterans, okay, that paid their dues, and now they have nowhere to go. And these places let these individuals out of these facilities in the daytime, and they walk around the streets. Okay, how come we can't take these individuals and utilize them in other areas, maybe produce or something like that, stocking shelves, something, rather than leaving them on the streets during the day and then they go back to where they came from? It's just like when you're walking around the street, you don't know if this person is going to try to rob you or not.
Oh.
So we're creating a lot of different problems because all these the government say, well, we don't need this, we don't need that. Well, then people in these communities suffer. These people suffer. Okay.
What are you out? You said you keep to yourself a bit, but I know you're also an empowered leader. That's
Of
what you do
course.
is you lead. And is what do you do to help build community around you so others don't feel that isolation and or help how do you help some of these folks who because I know that's a lot of the work you do is service oriented is how do you help folks in your community so that they can get these opportunities or that they can seek help in alternative ways so that they're not homeless and destitute because the state has forgotten them or purposely left them out. Because a lot of these people wouldn't be homeless if the state provided um, some basic necessities, like in basic tools that were easy to access. So, how is that looking going forward with like no funding, and what are you doing to help your community to prevent that loss of funding and loss of services from being as impactful?
One of the things I was looking at doing, I have a 5-bedroom house, okay? And so I turned the basement into a living facility, living so I could rent it out, because at one point in time I was thinking about turning it into a assisted living to give people a place to stay. Okay, but that causes other problems as well, as far as safety and security, because some of these individuals are not completely they might have some impairments mentally. Okay, how do I know that this individual's not going to punch holes in the wall? How do I know, is other things that you have to be concerned about when you bringing other people into your home. And I just retired September 30th, and I have complex PTSD. Okay,
Hmm.
so I try to minimize my stress and all of these things by leaving those things out. Okay, so right now I have that unit is empty because I've had two tenants in there and they was problematic, and to try to get people out, and I'm going through all of these things. So what we need to do is take care of ourselves first. We can't help anyone else if we don't take care of ourselves. And honestly, this past year I've helped a lot of people, okay? But I was needing help myself and I didn't have anyone. Okay. So we can't help everybody. We have to first help ourselves, and we have to realize, look at each situation and see what we can do. Sometimes there's nothing we can do, but maybe give them a contact information or something like that. So
So
we have to take care of ourselves first. I'm sorry.
Mhm. No, in that line of thought, Margaret, because I'm actually curious and I would like to ask you because chronic, complex PTSD, I can, well, it is a chronic illness. So, and the reason I'm asking is also because I have been exploring, because the thing is, okay, I don't want to get technical here, but in the DSM 5, complex PTSD isn't yet, I don't want to say recognized, but you know what I mean? Like it's the North American Diagnosis Manual versus if complex PTSD is recognized in the other manual. I'm sorry, I know the name in French, but the one that they use with the World National, like the World Health Organization. So I find it's hard to get help for complex PTSD because I basically got help with a family doctor. I have been followed by her for many years. But before that, I had tons of diagnosis, and it was only like last year that I actually started exploring this idea. And now it's pretty, I mean, I've got most of the symptoms. So, and basically, complex PTSD is really hard to diagnose too because you have so many, you have to look at a pattern of, and it's long term. Like, how did you yourself find out about it, and how I guess that's my first question. And then how do you find that it impacts the way you relate to others? Because I know how it, in my capacity, what it does, but I'm just curious to find out if it's the same thing. Do you know, am I like, is it okay, my question, or?
No, it is. It is. I'm still finding out about it myself because I thought I just had PTSD because, being in the military and being in being Iraq and being in Israel, and then growing
Yeah,
up in an abusive childhood where abuse was handed over daily. Okay,
I
and
understand.
I'm and caretaking and all of these things. So basically, I self-diagnosed myself because I've been waiting to get into behavioral health for months just to get an appointment. Okay, because I had to sit in all of this stuff while I was waiting for all my paperwork and everything. Because while I was working, I was able to keep busy. So
Oh, for sure.
it's difficult, being hyper vigilant and being don't trust people, you know. How can I trust people? You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you trust somebody, when the mask come off, then you're like, see. So I just
Yes.
deal with one day at a time.
Mhm.
Honestly, Margaret, this is just if ever you want to talk about it like on a one-on-one basis, just let me know because I'm also actively, not every day, but because you do need to take a break. But because it's such an important, um, not just issue, but topic I find because I remember watching you had a fantastic podcast with this person on intergenerational trauma.
Yes.
And I mean, if later I'll try to bring it up to put it in the chat because I find that explains sometimes a lot of people's difficulties because it is also something you not transfer, but you kind of like it's learned. It's not necessarily because
Well, I think
it's
we're learning DNA. It's more than just being transferred from one behavior to the next. It's in our DNA, which is
it's like it's both a pattern and also like you're hypersensitive because it's like your gene is turned on. So I'll let you speak and then I'll try to go on your profile and send that link because I would recommend that podcast to our viewers.
I just wanted to say too, if you would be interested in starting like a group of people that's suffering with this and want to sit it down and talk about it, I'd be even interested in doing something like that because I'm sure we're not the only ones that's suffering from that.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think there's a lot more than we realize.
I've
I
even
think we should
scheduled
be
a live.
making. I think we should be
Sorry.
making spaces. No, sorry, I interrupted you. I think we should be making spaces for all of these conversations.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I would be willing to do that.
And we have a
Wonderful.
friend in the chat, Sushi Filiak, who does a Sunday evening show now. I believe it is called Mind Haven. And Sushi, I'd love to reach out about your show and how I might be able to help support you guys and boost it if you'd be interested. Like give it a spot on Sick of the Shit, similar to Time for Life, so that you guys have a big audience to be able to boost out to. I know a lot of our community in Sick of This Shit are chronic illness sufferers. Like we've been doing this show forever now, it feels like.
was it
And
September? I think
I don't
September.
remember.
I don't even remember. It's been a while. We've been doing this for a long time, and I love it because it's fun. And we don't talk about politics. We talk about ourselves and how we heal. And I think adding space for like complex PTSD conversations specifically rather than just chronic illness in general. Like I want to start doing a small series on the VA's manual for the distress tolerance training group therapy that I went through. I have
That
the
would be
books.
good.
I will preface everyone with I am not a licensed psychologist. I am not a licensed physician. I am not trying to counsel you in any way. I'm just going to read from the manual and just say, hey, this is what I learned from it. And hopefully that'll be helpful too. So I think we should be making space for all of that. So, Margaret, if that's something you want my support in,
Yes.
like I would be glad to boost that type of stuff. Like that's exactly what I want this community to be. That way we can turn it into a foundation and things like that and be able to boost through action and like directed investment towards supporting the community. So any way that if you want to participate in that and I'm glad to reach out and we'll talk more to Beth. It sounds like you DM'd Margaret also, and so we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I'd
I just
definitely
want to
be
say
interested. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say I reached out to Dr. Bronce Rice, and he has agreed to do a conversation with me about complex PTSD in March, and I'll make sure to send you a link to that as well.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
I subscribe to you, so I'll definitely see it too. But yeah, I mean, let's keep in touch about this subject. Honestly,
Yes,
right away, all I can think is I'd be super interested to do a support group. The thing is, I think it would have to sort of be like either a Zoom, like, do you know what I mean? Like, because we'd
yes,
be
yes.
sharing personal information, it would have to be not a live, obviously.
I
But yeah.
agree. I agree, and I'm a industrial and organizational psychologist. I'm not a therapist either. So we'll
Well,
we'll
I
we'll
used to
talk
be
about it.
one, but I couldn't do therapy, but I can do emotional support for sure. So, but I don't have my license anymore. And believe me, it's all part of the CPTSD thing. My first, because that's something we can discuss is our emotional, defense mechanism. And fawning is often one of them, which is you're so hyper vigilant that you're trying to prevent the catastrophe, the whole, like, so that's kind of like you learn to self regulate others basically, and then you're like, yeah. But yeah, long long conversation to come for sure.
Oh, so I don't exactly know what you're talking about, but I think I do, and I think whatever you just said will open up a very
I
large
can post a
world for
link.
me.
I wrote a post on Substack a long time ago. I'll post it now. So I have two posts to find. So guys, continue the conversation. I'll find those posts.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think having this community like continuously just spontaneously grow is really where it's. I love all of this connection that we're building and we're sharing amongst each other, because my mental health is way better than it was 7 months ago, and we're in the middle of the tear down of the, like, a fascist takeover of the US and a tear down and regression towards white supremacy and into white supremacy. Like, yet my mental health right now is way better than it was 7 months ago when I lost my job, because I've been able to build a community around me of like-minded people who also just want to talk about their feelings and want to talk about
Mhm.
what's and
Got it.
better themselves. And so, Margaret, one question for you. What is a tip or one thing that you do personally, one practice that you really enjoy, um, to help center yourself or recenter or ground yourself during times of crisis like this that you think other people might benefit from?
Things. One thing is, I'll dance. Okay, um, that helps to uh, pick up your mood. To pick up your mood and to burn some calories. Okay. Um, I'll also go outside with nature. That also helps to ground me and change my mood.
Same.
Touch grass is what we say in our house.
Yes.
If you go touch grass, you'll feel better. I sing throughout the day. Like, I sing, but I sing as my dogs. So I have 3 dogs. I sound crazy when I talk about this, but I know it's not, because my therapists both have said this is a really good way to express your ideas and thoughts without blame for yourself. That's part of the mindfulness therapy that I've gone through for almost 3 years. Is I let my dogs have different voices and like different parts of songs, and I'll have them converse with me and tell the bad ideas or any of the ideas, and they'll just talk them through. Um, and that way, the dogs have a conversation about, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Should I just throw this idea away? And I find it very helpful. So it brings me joy too, because I get to sing.
Perfect.
I like that yours was non-standard, and it wasn't like, oh, I go to therapy and talk to somebody about this. I'm glad it wasn't just a generic thing that you do. Like dancing is, I'm bad at dancing. I'm so bad at dancing. My wife hates it, but I'm so sorry for my wife because she loves to dance too. Steph, what do you do?
What do I do? I sort of went back to trying to take more walks. I've frankly been struggling to figure out how to live in the world, be a parent to someone who's about to like go off into the world, but isn't ready to, and try to figure out how to sustain a family. And I think for me, this community is one of the most important things. But one of the very, very most important things. But I haven't figured it out entirely, and haven't figured out the balance between taking on too much, not taking on enough. Where does my psychological energy go? All that stuff. So I'm a little bit working things out.
That's okay. We're a work in progress, right?
Absolutely. We're evolving.
My son said something really funny on Saturday. He has therapy, and he said, we spend most of our time talking about you, meaning me. I was like, dude, you will spend the most of any time in your entire life in therapy talking about your relationship with me. He's like, what? I was like, ask anybody. But that mother-child relationship, I've been working on it for 25 years. So it was really kind of funny.
Love it.
Sorry if I wince in pain. Anybody, my leg really hurts this morning. My fiber is acting out.
No.
I guess I'm lucky because I'm going to assume that a lot of the things that your kids are saying in therapy about you, Steph, are actually fairly good from what I've seen and learned about you as a person. So hopefully it's a lot of good that they're saying behind your back.
Well, yeah, but
because I know that's my experience in therapy. If I talk about my parents, is for the most part, it's good behind their back.
Oh, that's great. No, I think it is, but I think the lesson is no matter how, I try to do everything differently than the way I grew up, right? And I know that my kid is super attached and loving and loves me and blah, blah, blah. But no matter what you do, you will fuck something up with your kid. And no matter how hard I tried to avoid all of the pitfalls that I saw, there are different pitfalls, for him. So that's kind of I'm not taking it too personally because, I now realize no matter what you do, something will be hard for them to manage or process. So I'm just grateful to have, for him, for the world to have changed enough so that therapy's not a dirty word like it was when I was growing up. And
it's true.
And for, him to find all of his friends are also in therapy or treatment or whatever, because I firmly believe that everybody in the world needs therapy all the time.
Margaret, do you have any children?
Yes, I have a daughter.
Oh, without getting into her and to keep her privacy totally. Um, how your relationship with her, is that something that, going on the lines of Stephanie, is how do you go about your own personal like understanding of if your child's going to therapy and they're talking about you? How do you go about, because I'm raising kids and eventually my kids are going to talk about me in therapy, is how do you go about, just like Stephanie is sort of letting herself be detached from it, just setting a wall and just going, it's therapy. Like, I've been there, I've said it, I understand too. How are you doing that for yourself to know that it's okay?
Well, as far as my daughter goes, our relationship was very toxic at the beginning. My parents raised her. Okay, when I had to leave my father's house when he shot at me. Okay, so they
Well, that's
raised my
scary.
daughter. I'm sorry.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It is. But I'm here today, and we both have wounds, and we've worked through it, and we're basically like friends. Okay, because I was 14 when she was born,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so we that's a whole nother story. Anyway, so we have a wonderful relationship now because after I became a coach, I realized how judgmental and critical I was because picking up the traits from my parents, okay? And I said I was going to be different. So we have a wonderful relationship now, and I'm grateful for that.
Oh, but that is such a I mean, I'm really touched by what you're saying because you are a teenager, and when you're a teenager, you're basically not an adult. So you're basically trying to raise yourself. You know, you're still searching for your identity, and then you have to take care of this little baby. I mean, am I
Like,
anyways.
that's
Yeah.
too that's only a few years older than my daughter. Like, she's a baby. She's still
Mhm.
a baby. I look at her and I know she's big and she's tall and she's starting to hit puberty and she's growing, but she's a baby. Like, she doesn't have the same cognitive ability that an adult does. She doesn't have the same reasoning that an adult does. Like, I'm sorry that, like, I know I didn't do anything in this story, but I'm still sorry that you had to go through all of that trauma,
Mhm.
and that, but I'm glad, just like Soso said, that you're here and that you've
Yeah.
been able to go through that trauma and you're in such a good place for yourself and with a relationship with your daughter as a friend. Because I think that's an important transition for adults, because I'm friends with my parents in a very different way than I think even my brothers are. Um, and that's okay. I I don't judge any of my brothers for the way that they act on anything, because
Well,
they're
you
their
know what?
own.
You have different parents than your brothers do. And they have different, like, seriously,
They do.
like the
No,
way.
well, I also have a very, there's also a very different age gap between me and
Mhm.
my oldest brother. Um, and he's actually technically my step brother or my half brother. That said, he's my brother. Like,
Right.
he and I have the closest of the relationships between us brothers. Like, and I have a very different relationship with my parents than he does. My brother or my parents and I are very much more on a friendship right now. They parent me, but we also have very friendship conversations because we get along in a lot of areas and we've been able to build a bond like that. So I think it's really cool to see friendship as a way, as an approach to keeping someone in your life who may otherwise not have been there. Um, and I think that's beautiful. I think I'm so glad that you have your daughter in your life as a friend. Um,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I have
I think
one
it's
with my
beautiful.
niece. I have one with my niece too. My oldest brother's niece. She visited me when I was in Israel, and I met her in Jerusalem, and we spent the day together. And so we have a very close bond, and I'm grateful for those two relationships.
That
That's
sounds
beautiful.
At some point, Margaret, I would love to hear about your time in Jerusalem because I lived there too for quite a while. And yeah, I'm really interested in that. But clearly, that's not the conversation for right now.
No, but you guys
Okay.
you two should have a show for that. That would be so fun to listen to.
We could do that.
We could do
No
that.
problem. Yeah.
Mm.
Just giving you more things to do, Steph. But maybe we can throw it. We're working. So one of the things I'm doing behind the scenes with some of our amazing community members is building community calendars and support options so that people can more easily schedule. We can dedupe our lives and make sure people aren't conflicting each other, because everyone has so much important things to say. And there's a lot of time in the day that we can all say those things without saying them on top of each other, and everybody can get their voice out. So, like, we're trying to build, Courtney and I and some of the others in the community are building a community support calendar. Beth is supporting me and helping me manage it. And so there's so much like work to help all of us get so Sushi, definitely reach out to Beth because she's going to be a great piece of support on that, because I'd love to figure out how we can help and make sure you guys are in the community and broadcasted more, and just use that's all my platform is sharing at this point, because sharing is caring and knowledge is power.
If
And
on
Eric,
behalf of everyone here, I'd like to say thank you so much, Nick. Like, I think
Eric, same for you
our
too,
life
man.
is slowly changing, and that's for the better, I'm sure, for all of us.
I hope so. Because my life is improving. Like, I'm going through a good season despite all of this, and in spite of all of this in a lot of ways too. Like, we're purposely doing as much as we can in our household to do good for ourselves, which also means we're doing good for our community. And so that's my call to action, is do good for yourself. Margaret, what do you think? Is do good for yourself to be able to do good for your community?
Absolutely. In that order.
Love it. Okay. So this is where we're going to, Beth, I know you don't have a meditation today, so I'm not going to put you on the spot. We're going to, do you have yours prepared? I have the video ready. Do you have anything?
Oh, I was just going to say, just run the video and have people, and people should just watch it and let your mind fly.
I had both technical issues and mental health issue yesterday when it didn't go well. So I did not get it done. But if you just take some deep breaths prior and watch this video, So has some amazing pictures. And it was hard to choose which one. So I hope you enjoy it.
Hold on. I don't know if we're on the same video.
So
maybe Stephanie's.
I like whatever you should.
Hold on. Is yours in Canva?
Mine's in Canva.
Yeah, and mine's in. I did it through just Apple Photos. So
you can run Stephanie's.
Okay.
If you want, whichever is easiest.
I have Stephanie's pulled up, just so that we don't
do
take too much time.
Thank you,
that.
Stephanie.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you both. Thank you all. Thank you, Margaret, for being with us. And then when we come back from this short video break where everyone gets to relax a little bit, let me try and get it pulled up on the next. Things are going to look weird for a second, everybody. I apologize. Get things set up fully. Where is it? Oh, I need to do that smarter. Sorry, tech issues.
Technology sucks, man.
There we go. All right, we're going to share that. And then I'm going to mute all of us in the background, and let's enjoy our meditative video for just a few minutes. as I unmute all of us.
And now I need to go get a seal pup. An
Me too,
emotional
right?
seal pup.
Yeah,
The
now we
picture
need an
quality
emotional
really
support.
degraded, so you just pretend that was CRISPR.
Thank you,
It was
Stephanie.
that brought me so much joy. I
And me
enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
Everyone needs an emotional support sea lion.
Yes. Is that what it was? Yeah,
Oops.
I'm gonna go get it.
And so this is the part where now we get to sell ourselves. And Margaret, I would love for you to sell yourself, tell people how they can find you, the work that you're doing. Please scan the QR code if you're here on whatever platform you're listening to. Or if you're on Substack, hit the subscribe button in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Subscribe to everybody in the conversation, including Margaret, specifically Margaret, because she's the empowered leader. And this has been so much fun. Margaret, sell yourself.
That's something I don't do very well, probably, but I help marginalized leaders reach their desired outcomes, and through work through yeah, well, you come to the Empowered Leader publication and you will find all the information there that you need and all the resources, and you can contact me, and we will work through whatever issues that you're having, whether it's personal or business, and we'll get you taken care of.
Thank you,
Well,
Margaret. And
Thank you very much.
I hope people reach out if they need support, and please subscribe and follow Margaret's work. She's doing a lot of incredible things, and it's been really fun to get to meet you. And I'm glad that you're part of our community. Thank you for being with us. So please go support Margaret. She's awesome. And then
give her a hug.
got it. Got it to work.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you, and we will be in touch for sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to leave it at that today for our QR codes, if everyone's okay with that. Just
Yeah.
to respect. And so thank you so much, everyone, for being with us today. We'll see you all next Monday, as we are always here on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we will see you all next week. Thank you, everyone. This is Sick of This Shit
Thank you.
Publications, and we're chilling out. Love you guys.
All right,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I love you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.